You didn't start a fight. You didn't gossip. You didn't betray anyone. But something's different. You walk into a room, and the energy shifts. People glance at you, then look away. Conversations that were flowing suddenly dry up. It's subtle, but it's there. A quiet rejection you can't explain, but you can feel it in your bones. You start to wonder, what did I do wrong? Who did I offend? And the truth? Most people aren't disliked because of some terrible offense. They're disliked because of small, invisible habits, unnoticed behaviors that trigger discomfort, insecurity, or even quiet resentment in others. But this isn't about changing who you are to be liked. It's not about people pleasing or wearing another mask. This is about becoming so grounded, so self-aware, so intentional, that even if people don't always understand you, they can't help but respect you. And that's where the ancient wisdom of Stoicism enters. So today, we'll explore 5 quiet habits that may be quietly turning people off, and how you can replace them with timeless Stoic principles, not for applause, but for peace, and most importantly, for self-respect. Let's begin. Speaking too much, listening too little. Let me be honest with you. Most people don't dislike what you say. They dislike that you never stop saying it. You dominate conversations. You finish people's sentences. You offer unsolicited opinions like they're gifts no one asked for. You don't mean harm, but the effect is real. It doesn't come across as confidence. It comes across as arrogance, and that's exhausting to be around. Epictetus once said, "We have 2 ears and 1 mouth so that we can listen twice as much as we speak." But in today's world, it feels like everyone is shouting and no one is truly listening. Here's what Stoicism teaches. Listen to understand, not to respond. Let silence stretch comfortably. Speak only when your words are better than silence. Ask yourself, when was the last time you really listened to someone? Not just their words, but their energy. Start there. Let your calmness speak louder than your voice. Because in a world addicted to noise, stillness commands attention, need and constant validation. There's a type of energy that repels people silently. And it's not anger or arrogance, it's neediness. When every glance you receive, every sentence you speak is dripping with the hidden question, do you like me? Do I matter to you? You're not hated, but you're draining. Because people can feel it, the invisible hunger for approval, and it places an emotional burden on everyone around you. Marcus Aurelius wrote, "It never ceases to amaze me. We love ourselves more than others, yet we care more about their opinion than our own." Stoicism flips that on its head. The Stoic does not chase validation. They witness their own effort. They praise their own resilience. They become their own mirror. So the next time you seek applause, ask yourself instead, what do I admire about myself today? Detach your identity from others' reactions. Detach your worth from performance. You're already enough. Striving, learning, growing. And that's more than worthy. Always needing to be right. Here's a hard truth. The need to always be right is a fast track to being quietly disliked. You think you're being logical. You're just correcting people. You're just trying to help. But what others hear is, you're wrong. I know better. Let me prove you inferior. Even if you're technically right, you're emotionally tone-deaf. Epictetus warned, it is impossible for a man to learn what he thinks he already knows. The Stoic doesn't pursue being right. They pursue being wise. And wisdom doesn't need to win arguments. Wisdom is secure enough to say, maybe I'm wrong, Maybe there's something I haven't considered. Next time you feel the urge to correct someone, pause. Ask, could they be right? Is this worth the energy? Because when you argue to prove your ego, you lose respect. But when you seek truth with humility, people lean in, overreacting to criticism or rejection. You've seen it. The person who crumbles at every critique, who gets defensive at every suggestion, who reads insult into silence. They're not bad people, but they become emotional landmines. And so, people avoid them, because no one wants to walk on eggshells. Marcus Aurelius taught, choose not to be harmed, and you won't feel harmed. Don't feel harmed, and you haven't been. That's radical emotional power. Stoicism isn't about suppressing emotions, it's about mastering your response. So the next time criticism hits, don't fight it. Don't explain. Don't lash out. Instead, pause, breathe, ask, is this about me or about them? What's true here? And what's just noise? And most importantly, choose peace over pride. Because strength isn't how loud you react, it's how quietly you remain anchored. Confidence is magnetic, but superiority, it stinks. People don't dislike you for being smart or accomplished or disciplined. They dislike it when you use those things to make them feel small. Maybe you don't even notice you're doing it, but bragging cloaked as sharing. Advice disguised as condescension. Virtue signaled louder than it's lived. All of it builds quiet resentment. Seneca once said, no man is crushed by misfortune unless he has first been deceived by prosperity. True Stoics are humble, because they know everything external is fleeting. So here's the challenge. Let your greatness be invisible. Do good, be kind, be wise, and don't announce it. Let your life whisper what your mouth doesn't have to shout. Your presence should inspire, not intimidate. And if someone doesn't notice your strength, you weren't doing it for them. Stand in your truth, quietly. Let's wrap this up with one final thought. It is better to be disliked for your truth than loved for your performance. You don't need to chase validation. You don't need to correct everyone. You don't need to break every silence. You just need to become someone you respect, even in silence. Waste no more time arguing what a good person should be. Be one, Marcus Aurelius. So don't fear being disliked. Fear being unlike your highest self. That's the Stoic path. And it's yours to walk, step by quiet step. If you found this helpful, don't forget to subscribe, not for validation, but to grow together, with strength, with stillness, and with soul. Your next chapter starts now. Let's begin.